Alright, we're back on sports, and as you can see, we got a lot of medals to talk about. But, before I get started on medals, I want to go back to last week's sports video. I want to thank everyone who watched that video and who commented in that video. And, you understood exactly what I was trying to get my point across. And I really want to thank you for that. You had some good conversations in the comment section. Of course, there was some idiot that came along and tried to antagonize a couple of you. But, I took care of that. It just goes to show you. And then the thing is, if you look at that guy's timeline, it was just like, oh, well, he wants to be taken super serious, but that's the way he acts. Yeah, whatever. He was going to multiple videos of mine and acting that way, too. So, whatever. But it goes to show you that even people who are from other countries, when you're watching, you understood exactly what's going on here. And you understood just how important it is here, you know what I mean, to try and keep our neighborhood safe and trying to, push forward. And how, like I said before, and some of you agreed, how people like Charles Barkley, if they do this show, a lot of those people in that neighborhood, the people you don't hear about, all those faceless people that keep a neighborhood going, they're going to get overshadowed. You know what I mean? Only for, to hear people, like big-time people that already are known. It's absolutely ridiculous. But enough about that. I do want to move on, and I want to talk about this week's sports video. That's right. Now, before I get started on talking about these medals, I don't want to talk about this just yet. I want to talk about Spartan race. That's right, Spartan race. Now, as you know, 2 weeks ago, I finished Spartan race. I did my trifecta 2 weeks ago. It was a grueling task, but hey, like I said, even the last race was pretty easy. But that's not what I want to get at here, all right? A couple months ago, I told you that Randy Moss, that's right, retired NFL receiver, an elite athlete, still an elite athlete if you ask me to this day, decided he wanted to take up Spartan race. And we talked about how, when he first did his Spartan sprint, which is the shortest distance, that that they just went crazy over it. Media was going crazy, the obstacle course racing community was going crazy. They had someone as an elite level caliber, athlete among their ranks, right? So they were just going crazy. Well, apparently over the weekend, Randy Moss finally did his super. That's right, he's just now getting to his super. Let's see how Randy Moss attacks an actual obstacle. I always say, never get on people because they're trying out there. They're trying their hardest out there, so you don't want to discourage them. But damn, Randy, that took you a long time to get up that hill. Look, let me tell you something, all right? When I was in the super, actually the super and the sprint, the Blue Mountain, we had the same obstacle. It took me like 3 seconds to get up that. He took a long time to get up that. But let me explain, okay? The difference between the way he went up it and the way a number of us went up it, like I said, 2 weeks ago, is that we had a water cannon hitting us, and it was hitting the ramp, so it was slick. The rope that he used was knotted. We didn't have a knotted rope, okay? For him to take so long to get up that, that incline, for me, that's crazy. It took me like 3 seconds to get up there. It took him he looked like he had a hard time getting up there, and it seemed like it was more of his form than anything. I understand he's tall, he's lanky, but he's got, like you heard the guy, you got to get down, you got to use your hips, you have to get lower. And it seems like Randy doesn't have the right training for that. To be honest, there's really no training for stuff like that. If you look at it in the overall scope, I've said before, it's a glorified obstacle course. That's what it is. It's like being in a playground again. That's what it is. There are people who train, they CrossFit and stuff like that to get ready for Spartan races and Ninja Warrior and stuff like that. But you have to understand that when it comes to a simple, something like that simple, and you just grab the rope and go up it, that shouldn't take you all but a couple seconds. Now, of course, that is looking, on the surface. I don't know what mile that was in, because when we had to do it, that was in mile 3 in the dead heat, and like I said, water pumps, and the ramp was slick and everything, so it was tougher for us. I don't know exactly what mile that was for Randy, but he looked like he struggled to, just trying to get up there. Man, that's tough. But listen to what Randy Moss had to say after he finished his super, because I want to congratulate him on finishing the super. He still has the beast to go. You know what I mean? But, like I said, he hasn't done his trifecta yet. He still has his beast. But I want to congratulate him on his super. But listen to what he is saying about how the heat is. And for those who are talking about doing Spartan races, listen very closely and watch how these people, how they're just running by, just how exhausted they really are.
Yeah, it was hard, man. It was hard, very brutal, man. It was very brutal. Very brutal. It was one. I didn't expect for it to be that hard, man, but it was hard today. I paid for it. I really paid for it, man. So,
what's your favorite after race meal?
You know what I'm getting ready to go eat today?
What's that?
I'm going to Zaxby's. I'm going to Zaxby's today. I'm going there today. You know, I'm trying to.
Are you a Waffle House fan by chance?
What?
Are you a Waffle House fan by chance?
No, what up, bro? How you doing? Good. All right. Waffle House, yeah, but I'm not going to no Waffle House. I'm going to Zaxby's. You heard me. I'm going to Zaxby's. Yeah.
Get you straight these people.
I'm going there. You see my Spartan brothers and sisters coming through here. I'm just lacing them up. That's all I'm doing. They get to run through it. And this little bit of water right here, man, it doesn't look like it, but I bet it gives them like maybe an extra mile. Right? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Oh, I love you.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Hey.
You, Randy?
Yeah, what's up? How you doing, man? How you doing?
To meet you.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Randy Moss is not lying. As you heard from him, it was hard for him. But that little bit of water, you would think, oh, that little bit of water is nothing. Yeah, that little bit of water will give you an extra mile. That's how tough it is out there. That's how much you're running. That's how hot it is out there. That little bit of water is instant relief. It just is. Now, I will say it looks like Randy Moss is pissing on people. It does look like it, but that's not the case. And you heard what he said. Oh, what's your meal going to be? Look, that is one thing that is discussed also while you're on the course and you're running next to each other. Some people are walking and whatever. You're always saying, damn, I want to drink. Damn, I can't wait for this is over because I want something to eat. And you always treat yourself afterwards because it's such a hard race. So I can understand why, Randy Moss is like, I'm going to Zaxby's. I'm going to get me something to eat. You eat a huge meal afterwards because, you know what I mean, it's so tough on the body. It's so grueling on the body that, trust me, you're going to want this stuff. Like I said, even when you're going through the obstacles, you can just hear guys just yelling randomly, I want a beer so bad. I can't wait to drink. Like, you just hear it because you can hear just how much the people want these type of things so bad because their body, they've trained so much and they feel as though they need to be rewarded, you know what I mean, for putting themselves through this. So it's something that you hear constantly, all the time, during Spartan races as you're going through. Now, I will say this, all right? Now, let's talk about Randy Moss for a minute, all right? There are a number of reports from Spartans, all right, on a good thing and a bad thing about Randy Moss, all right? So I'll start with the bad stuff first. I have heard that Randy Moss at these obstacle course races is a dick. Is an absolute dick. I mean, people are reporting that this guy is really nasty to people. However, as you can see in the video, he seemed to be a nice guy. He seemed to be doing, trying to help people. And I've heard other people, I've seen online other people who have said, no, Randy Moss is really, really nice. And, he goes out his way to help people. He goes out his way to shake hands and stuff. And just like any other Spartan would to go out of his way to help people, or go out of her way to help people. Now, I will say this. I guess it's who you ask, about the attitude, because they tell you right there before you sign up, do not bring your bad attitude to Spartan race. Don't do it. That's what they tell you. Now, with that said, we have heard a number of people who, I guess they're just not used to being around elite athletes or celebrities or whatever, because a lot of people, men they were saying, women were reporting, a lot of men were so giddy, were so starstruck by Randy Moss that it distracted them from their obstacles. They would actually bypass obstacles to go talk to Randy Moss. Like, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Like, you've got to be kidding me. He's out there doing just like what you're out there doing. Everyone is on an even playing field when you're doing Spartan race. So I don't want to hear this, I'll play this. If Randy Moss was trying to be elite at Spartan race, he would join the elites. As you can see, he's not joining the elites. He's sitting there, he's doing the open challenges. Now, for those who don't understand the elites, Lance Armstrong not too long ago he was doing the open races because he wants to start doing it competitively. Mind you, a lot of people in the Spartan community don't mind Lance Armstrong doing the open races just like everyone else does. Because of his history, they don't want him to join the elites. They don't want him to. So it goes to show you that no matter who you're next to, you're still on the same level. You still have to help each other. I don't know why people get so starstruck over these things. I just don't. Anyways, I want to move on since we talked about Spartan race, and I want to talk about the actual medals that I have. Like I said, I received not too long ago the Disney Running Short Series. Now, mind you, 4 medals. That's right. All proceeds went to Leukemia and Lymphoma, Society. So it was for a good cause. There was a series of 5K runs. That's right. So 1 week I would have to do 1 5K, you got a medal. The next week you do the next 5K, you got a medal. The next week after that you did another 5K, you got a medal. And this medal is just to say congratulations, you did the entire series for the entire summer. That's what that was. Okay, now I'm going to take these off because these are pretty damn heavy. I have to say this right now. These medals are quality. Disney, once again, does not skip out on the quality of their medals. As you can see how big they are, these are some big-ass medals. I am very happy that I participated. Like I said, it was for a great cause. Listen, leukemia and lymphoma. Disney, this was the first annual running shorts for them. All right? So I will say this now. Disney, next year, I'll be doing it again. I felt it was a great run. It was definitely worth it. And once again, Disney is doing something that's great. Once again, run for charity. Can't get mad at it. You know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, that's one thing. I do want to talk about the upcoming races that are coming up in not just the local area, but in other areas. I also specifically want to talk about, because I did this run before, and anyone who is thinking about doing it, I would say the Hall of Fame run, the 5K. Remember the Hall of Fame run that I did that gave you the big Super Bowl, the big Hall of Fame ring, the Hall of Fame inductee ring? It was like that big, the real thick one. Well, that one is coming to Pittsburgh. That's right. So here are the lists of races that are coming up in your area, or should I say just the local area and somewhat branching out. Speaking of football, NFL preseason is back. I'm sure there are a number of people happy, and on Sunday night, everyone tuned in to watch Packers and Colts, and this happened. So field conditions, that's what we're on right now. Okay, so they stopped the game, or they canceled this game due to field conditions. Was the grounds crew not there to make sure everything was cool? I mean, seriously. Anyone who even tuned in to watch what happened, they were getting booed the entire time. They came out and they made this announcement that they were going to cancel it. It was for player safety. Fans did not want to hear that. And the guy was like, don't worry, we've got NFL legends here like Brett Favre. Got booed. He was like, we got the Colts cheerleaders here. They got booed. Everyone was getting booed. And it was funny because the commentary staff were saying the fans have every right to be upset. They came to see a game. Now, of course, there were people on Twitter who were defending this and saying, you guys are taking it too far. You guys are on TV booing them. And it's only a preseason football game. There will be many more. You need to calm down. I see it differently, okay? And not because of a football game. But you have to understand the number of people who traveled to watch this game. That's right. Now, of course, the NFL today is saying that everybody, because they said it last night, but apparently it goes into effect today, that everyone who attended to watch the football game will get a refund. But it doesn't mean that they're going to be reimbursed for their travel, for their hotel, for their food, for all that type of stuff that they got together. They planned this to get together and go down that weekend, to see it all for the Hall of Fame weekend, and then say, look, I'm really here for the football game, and then it's canceled. So you have to understand that I understand a number of people being very pissed off. The commentators last night understood a number of people being pissed off because you spent a lot of money to watch that game, and for it to be canceled, and it hurt a lot of people. If you watch it, you just look at the people's stands, you do close-ups of people in the stands, just salt everywhere. It was just crazy. I was just like, yo, these people, it was funny but sad at the same time because I was hoping to watch football because the Olympics was on. I didn't want to watch that specific thing. I'll talk about the Olympics in a minute. But, it's just football, I wanted to watch it. I wanted to see, what the first preseason game was going to be, and it was canceled, and then those people were so upset. And I was like, yo, that's funny, but damn, that's kind of messed up too. You know what I mean? So, the visible salt was funny. But knowing that these people put out a lot of money for this and travel, they're not going to be reimbursed for that. They'll be reimbursed for their ticket, but not for the travel, the cost of food, and all that type of stuff. Not to mention all the stress you probably got to go through just for traveling in general, depending how you travel. You know what I mean? Just to say, look, I'm a fan of football. And like I said, for player safety, I'm sure we can all understand that player safety, but got to have a better grounds crew at that time. You can only do but so much, I know, but you've got to be kidding me that you waited to the last second. It was just like, okay, we're just going to cancel this. And you wait the day of. Wait, what? So, yeah, I can understand why people are very upset about that. So, people who are online, sitting at home, sitting on the couch and talking about how people shouldn't be mad, and those people in the stands shouldn't be mad because it's only a preseason game, you really need to check yourselves. Seriously. If you don't realize, it almost makes me feel as though you've never traveled for an event. That's what it makes me feel like. Because I feel like this, if I spent X amount of money, airfare, hotel, and all this type of stuff, and then I get there and then the event's canceled, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off. Yeah, I am. Just saying, all that money you spent, yeah. Not to mention how many people you probably took with you, family you probably took with you. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That just is. Anyways, I want to move on. Hopefully, we'll get some football soon. I'm sure we will. It's not that long soon. I'm sure I'll be talking Eagles football, and all the drama will start back up between everyone's teams and arguing and carrying on. We'll see what happens, you know what I mean? But as you know, every season is wash, rinse, repeat. Same thing over and over. And I mean by, the drama that comes with all this, you know what I mean? You should know how this goes by now. However, it's almost like a bad rerun. It almost feels that way. However, I do want to move on. I want to talk about the EPL. That's right, football overseas. Now, we need to have this talk because Chelsea has done, I'm going to say, pretty well as of late. I'm going to say that. They've been playing a lot of their games here on ESPN, actually. And I want to thank ESPN for that because it was really interesting because, as you know, last season when they were losing pretty badly, ESPN was like, yeah, not playing you. That's what they did. Like, a lot of NBC Sports was like, yeah, not playing you. You know what I mean? Like, it got to a point where you had to find it on Chelsea TV, which you don't get here unless you go online. That's pretty much how you had to watch stuff online. Or you had to go on demand to NBC Sports on demand, and sometimes it wouldn't work. So you were kind of screwed, so you couldn't watch the games. So, that was a bad thing. So pretty much, if you win, they'll put you on TV. If you're losing, pretty much fuck you. That's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But it's good to know that, I talked about not too long ago, that Chelsea's TV schedule has been changed. But they are playing the games here, and I don't mind staying up late to watch them, as long as they're going to play with some quality. And you know what? They have been playing with some quality. They have. Now, don't get me wrong. They've had a couple games where I'm just like, are you serious? I understand it's preseason. Are you serious? Are you serious? And then there's games where I'm just like, yo, this is great. You know what I mean? I love the new attack, the new way that they're playing. They're very offensive-minded. They're showing that they still have a problem with defense. They still do. I'm not going to sit here and lie. They do. And that needs to be cleaned up. Once again, it's almost like Moreno never left when it comes to defense. And I say that when they get down it, you have to understand. I understand that a lot of people are going to say Chelsea used to be a defensive team. They used to not attack much, and they used to counter off the defense and then score. That's what they did. They pride themselves off defense. But if you saw last year, last season, if you saw the way they played defense, and they were in shambles, they just fell apart. That's what you're seeing this preseason when it comes to defense, and it needs to be tightened up. The offense, I don't have a problem with. They're actually hustling. They're actually playing pretty hard. I think Willem needs to chill for a minute because he's doing a lot. He's doing some flopping that I'm not liking. But other than that, these players are putting it together, and they're actually playing hard, which I like to see. Commentators have already said during these games that they may be top 4 this year. They may be top 4 with the way they're playing, and their new manager. They may be top 4. I'll reserve judgment. I'll wait and reserve judgment until I see more. You know what I mean? Until the season actually starts. I don't like to say something like that during preseason, during this international meetup that they're doing with these teams. It's way too early to say something like that. You know what I mean? So that's how I see things. But speaking of Jose Mourinho, since I just mentioned him, he's saying, because he said that his boss has told him to win the EPL in 3 seasons. He says to all teams at this point that he's going to do it this year. Look, there's a difference between confidence and ego. And we've seen this guy, especially last season, we've seen the ego on Jose Mourinho. Man, you fans, I'm telling you now, you've got to shut this guy up. You have to. I'm just saying, you're not just taking a shot because, of course, I'm going to say, oh, Chelsea, oh, you done fucked up now. We're going to get you. I can say all those things, but when you say in a paper, oh, they're giving me 3 years, I'm going to do it in 1. That's not just a shot to Chelsea. That's a shot to everyone in the league. That's what it is. You are creating, seriously, man, you are putting so much pressure on your players right now. Fans, shut him up. Seriously. Because if you fail, you falter, and you start losing, every game that you lose, and I put it like this, as we know, Jose Mourinho, he doesn't mind a tie. We know that. He doesn't mind any draws. But if he's losing, man, you can expect hell to be unleashed. I'm just saying, do yourselves a favor and shut him up. I understand that people are excited. Say, yeah, he's so confident. No, that's ego. That's not confidence. I'll put it like this. If you start losing games, you know how this is going to go. Because if you start losing games, multiple games in a row, whatever, you know he's going to start throwing your players under the bus. You know this. It's this simple. Man, you fans, don't buy into him just yet. I understand that you're happy. But don't buy into his bullshit. As a Chelsea fan, I implore you, please, don't fall for this just yet. Don't. Like I said, wait till some of the season plays out first before you become a believer. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. I'm just saying. I do want to move on now. Because I want to talk about the Griffin Force flop of the week, even though we're talking about soccer. I do want to move on to the Olympics. That's right. The Griffin Force flop of the week. Go to the Olympics. Alright, because I don't understand what's going on in diving. But literally, there are flops being held in diving. You got it. Flops. That's right. Not just, imagine. No. No. Actual flops in diving. Oh, man, look. Now, obviously, that was in Singapore last year. But that is absolutely crazy. Now, before anyone says, well, Vint, can you do it? No, I can't do it. And that's exactly why I can't do it, because I end up like him. Obviously, he can't do it either. Look, I put it like this. When you are a consummate professional, and you've been doing this for 4 years, you've been training for 4 years, right? Training. I don't understand how you even get to that point. I don't understand. You should be nailing your dives. And that's just, oh my God, I don't know. I guess we should just let's move on to the Olympics though. Let's move on. I mean, my God. Do you want to talk about putting a flop in flop of the week? Yeah. Man. Okay. Let's get into the Olympics. Oh my God. So the Olympics for me so far, it's almost like a rerun of the last 4 years. All right. NBC has handled this really badly. And I want to start with the opening ceremony, okay? Because obviously the commentators, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what's going on. They were so awkward when it came to commentating on the opening segment when it came to Rio's opening ceremony, okay? So they didn't know what to say. They was like, I don't know. And like, it made things very awkward. I'm just like, can't you just say something like, oh, look at this nice, the pretty colors and stuff like that? Like, we were talking about on Twitter on how bad the commentary was, how awkward they made the opening ceremony because they didn't know what they were seeing. They didn't know how things, and I understand that they don't know how things are pulled off. That's part of the magic. You're not supposed to know, especially when they were doing the parkour part. But you're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to just give it praise because they pulled it off effectively. But the commentary was just so bad that it's just like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, it got to a point where it disgusted me that when the teams were coming out, and as you know, they're having all, every country's team come out and, representative, and it's great. Every team looks amazing. They look dressed nice. Everyone seems to be very happy, except, I believe the Arabs, they didn't look very happy. The one woman was just very scowly. I'm like, you're at the Olympics. Like, what's wrong with you? But Team USA finally comes out. And, of course, for those here in America, tons of commercials for Team USA. All of a sudden, support for Team USA. I've always had a problem with how these sponsors and these commercials and these people talk, especially, people in the news, because, I'll put it like this. For 4 years, you don't see these people around. And I mean, like, sponsors, you don't see the commercials talking about these Olympic athletes. Nothing. You see nothing. So when you were watching these track meets and all this type of stuff, throughout these years that this is going on, to get to this level, these people are never around. As soon as the Olympics start, Team USA. I'm like, seriously? Like, really? Like, you weren't even there for them in the long run. But Okay, I get it. You want to represent the country. You want to cheer. Here's the problem I have with Team USA when they came out open ceremony. So you're showing all these other teams, and all these other countries, without commercial interruption, you're showing them come out, and hey, everything's fine. Team USA comes out, I think maybe a quarter of them come out, maybe, if that. If that. And then you go to commercial. And it's like, wait a minute. This is supposed to be your country, your home team, NBC, and you cut the commercial in the middle of Team USA coming out. You've got to be kidding me. By the time they come back, Team USA is done. That's right. They're going on to a different country. So what do? During the middle of these other countries that are coming out, they give you candid random shots of Team USA still saying, USA, USA, like in the camera. Yeah. So we missed half of it. I'll say half. Like I said, only a quarter of them came out before they decided to cut it off. But it's amazing how, if this is supposed to be for supporting Team USA, you are cutting them off in their own opening ceremony. That's what we've been sitting and waiting for. We just sat and watched through all these other countries. I'm sitting and waiting for United States. Okay, here come United States commercial. Absolutely, that's just disgusting. That's appalling to me, just in general. And NBC, once again, just like you did the last Olympics, it seems as though you're having a problem with your schedule management. We talked about this a lot on Twitter. Don't put on your guide, hey, men's and women's judo is getting ready to start. And then you don't show men's and women's judo. No, you show ping pong. What's up with that? Oh yeah, we're getting ready to have boxing as well. Boxing never came on. They showed soccer. Like, what's going on here? Like, I just don't understand. Like, if you have something that is clearly on the guide, and it tells you, these are the sports, it says, boxing, soccer, volleyball, whatever, that's what we're going to show you. Let's just say, that's the example, okay? That's the three things we're going to show you, what it says in the guide. And then you only show 2 of the 3, or 1 of the 3. What's going on? I wanted to tune in and watch judo. You never showed it. You showed ping pong. Don't get me wrong, ping pong was pretty intense. But you didn't show the judo. I didn't see the boxing. The only other unique sport that I saw the entire time was fencing. That was it. Everything else was swimming. Everything else, and don't get me wrong. Like I said, I told you guys and girls on Twitter, swimming is a priority to watch. But I can't sit and watch swim meets for like 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. To see the women swim, yeah. Ledecky, yeah. She's just crushed her record. I put it like this. If you're going to lose to somebody in the Olympics and to say, okay, well, this person came in first, crushing the world record, yeah. That's how you lose. That's how you lose to somebody. Because it's not like I just didn't give it my all, or this person just barely beat me by a hair in a drama. No, this person destroyed the world record by a large set. It's like, yeah, okay, well, if I lost, that's the person I should lose to. That's fine. To me, I don't see a problem with that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to lose, that's how you lose, What was it? The men's, I think the most intense swimming I saw this over the weekend was the men's, the men's group. It was the USA group, the relay. That was fun to watch because France was right behind, which were the defending champs. France were right behind them when they're swimming. Michael Phelps, I told y'all on Twitter before, that he really is Aquaman. He's Aquaman. If you saw him, guy comes in first, does his swim part, Phelps goes second, all right? And he has such a large lead compared to everyone else that it gives so much cushion and bumper room to the 3rd and 4th spots. And here it is. By the time 3rd and 4th came up, France started to creep back up again. But it was too late. But Phelps had gave them such a large lead. I was like, yo, I'm not even mad. And what you got, his 19th medal? Let me talk about Michael Phelps, all right, real quick, because I don't have a problem with Michael Phelps. I don't have a problem. He's a great athlete. I do have a problem with his fiancée. And I say this due to the fact that we have covered this time and time again. We've talked about in baseball, we've talked about football, we've talked about baseball, we've talked about in a number of places. Why are you bringing a newborn child to a large event and can't handle the crowd? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And how has this little guy impacted your fiancé?
Oh my God, he's over the moon in love with him. He's willing to change a diaper, he's willing to jump in there and do whatever he can to help out. And it's just, I've never seen him smile so big as he does now.
So let me get this straight. Is this? I mean, I'm gonna have to ask you guys and girls. Has this chick been with a lot of bad dudes or something? Because what she's explaining, why Michael Phelps, he's willing to change a diaper and jump in there for his child. That's what all fathers do. I don't understand that. You're giving him credit for something he's supposed to do. I don't understand this. But it gets worse because, like I said, and here's the example I was talking about, where you shouldn't bring a newborn child. I don't care if they have headphones on or not. You don't bring a newborn child to a meet, to an event like this, because they can't handle anything. Watch this child as she's deciding to cheer and is scaring the shit out of child.
The semifinals in that race a little bit later on. Boomer with the noise-canceling headphones cannot hear mom. And Matt, well, he doesn't like being jolted around like that as he checks out the times on the board.
I don't see what's so funny when these commentators are talking. I mean, noise-canceling headphones, as anyone knows, they don't do but so much at a large crowd at a meet who is screaming like that. No, and as you can see in the video, she's moving everything. That kid does not like that, and that kid starts crying. The safety of your child should come first. Okay? And I'm saying this, especially you're in Rio. Does anyone know what's going on in Rio? How these people, I don't know if you've been seeing on Twitter or not, about how these people are being attacked and they're being robbed and everything's going, no. And that the police are not going to help you? No. The safety of your child comes first. I understand that is Michael Phelps. That is the Olympic athlete. I'm sure Nike has him and his family up somewhere really, really nice. You know what I mean? But there's just too many safety precautions when it comes to a child, especially at a large event like that. No way. If that child's got to be, 3-4 months old maybe? I'm not sure. I'm just eyeballing here. But you've got to be kidding me that you would put that child through that. The safety of your child comes first. And I know there's going to probably be some people who disagree with me. You know what? We won't agree to disagree. I don't think you need to take a child that young to a sporting event anyway. You can wait till they get a little older. I understand you're going to say, well, the baby wanted to see his father do this. It'll be probably the last time that Michael Phelps ever does this. That baby ain't going to remember a damn thing. All right? You understand that? That's a baby. He doesn't know anything yet. I understand you say, well, but he was there. You want to know what else I find real fucked up? Because for those who don't know, all right, about this baby, has his own Instagram to get followers. That's right. Not the mother's Instagram. Not Phelps' Instagram, his own Instagram to get followers. They started plugging that on NBC last night. That's right, last night. Now also, I want to talk about the gymnastics last night. Women's gymnastics was amazing. Team USA destroyed every team. They were up by 10 points? They killed them? Unbelievable to see how Team USA, the women's gymnastics, are going. It's just, they're just putting on a show. At this point, can't nobody mess with them. They can't. I feel it's kind of salty for Gabby Douglas because, for those who don't know, she did not qualify for the all-around gold medal. She missed it by half a point. Half a point. Yeah, half a point. Still can get the team medal. Still can do the individual, stuff that they're listed for. But the overall gold medal that she's the defending champ on from the last Olympics, she will not be a part of. She cannot participate because she did not qualify because of half a point. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And she's still getting good stride, too. She did. And, of course, when Gabby Douglas is out there doing her thing, of course, we saw the black community pretty much devoured her own. Instead of getting behind her and cheering her and everything, what do? You talked about her hair all night. Oh, her hair looks bad. I can't believe they let her go out there like that. She's competing. What is it? Was she supposed to have her hair all done and everything else? She's competing. She is not worried about her damn hair. If anything, if you notice, all the Olympic athletes, what they have when they're doing the gymnastics, they have their hair up, don't they? They can't afford to have their hair done because of what they're doing. And you're going to sit here and go complain all night on Twitter about her hair instead of just congratulating her for, getting through and being successful and all that. Once again, it's another example of black people devouring their own. It's disgusting to watch. It is. Like I said, as soon as you get to a certain point, people just want to pull you down, man. Every time. You should know by now, there's a number of people in this world who don't want you to succeed. It doesn't matter what you do in life. You don't have to be Gabby Douglas. You don't have to be an Olympian. You could be at a 9 to 5, and Anybody who's ever been on the train or on the bus or whatever, you hear people talking all the time. I got problems with people at where I work. Where you work? Kmart. What's going on there? There's a lot of drama. This girl trying to start with me and carry on. 9 to 5 working at Kmart. And you got drama. At Kmart. Like, this crab mentality has to stop. It has to. It's ridiculous that anybody, like I said, you get behind the athletes that are doing this. If you haven't been watching them, throughout these number of years, as they've, worked up this way. But, man, it's crazy to see how people on Twitter are acting. Our Olympic athletes are out there and they're representing and they're dominating in the gymnastics, women's gymnastics. And the only thing you can do is comment about how bad her hair looks. Fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Let's move on. I do want to talk about ESPN. Since we were just talking about NBC, I want to talk about ESPN. I've told you time and time again, the only time ESPN is worth a damn is when they show 30 for 30, which I'm sure people can agree with, and when they do Outside the Lines. Because anything else other than showing an actual event, like a football game or something like that, is garbage. First Take is garbage. Sports Center is garbage. All those other little shows that they try to have writers become stars are garbage. All right? We know that. Now, with that said, I have to say that I want to give ESPN a big shout out because of Outside the Lines. For those who don't know, Outside the Lines covered the tragedy that happened in basketball with Troy Causey and Jonathan Turner. Yeah. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is exactly what happened when Troy Causey's mother actually went to Jonathan Turner's basketball game. Here's screenshot by screenshot of the sign that she was holding and shut up the actual crowd. A very powerful message, as you see, as Troy Causey is sitting on the bench. At first he was playing during the time, but then sitting on the bench afterwards. You have to understand, because of what the mother is saying, 2 black men killed her son, and it wasn't, and nothing there. White police officer kills a black civilian, then we're going to get up, we're going to riot and everything. So it's a direct shot at the black community for not being consistent. You know what I mean? For saying black on black crime. No one's talking about that. No one's getting outraged by that. And that's what she's saying. Now, of course, I've talked about this before about black on black crime, about how there are a number of, churches that are involved, a number of places that are involved to try and stop this type of violence. There are a number of rallies that are around to stop this type of violence. So maybe not in her area that, it happens, but it goes to show you that what's more publicized right now is, trying to stop white police officers from killing black civilians as opposed to black on black crime where she feels her son deserves justice. But there's more to this. That's right. Now we're going to watch exactly how she feels when she sees her son's killer.
After the game, she waited. When you saw him, what went through your mind?
Honestly, I wanted to go kick his head in. I wanted to do to him what he did to Troy. It was so hard for me to maintain my composure. I wanted him to suffer like Troy suffered. That's how I feel. That's what pain feels like. I don't think I can ever be at peace with the way he died.
So now the question, because you can see the pain that she's in. The question is, I leave to you viewers, if that was your child, what would you do? Now, of course, when you're getting ready to answer that, now I'm going to say another thing to you, because ESPN has come up with an update saying that the witnesses who fingered that, Jonathan Turner is the one who killed Troy Causey, that they were lying. That's right. In an update, they said that the police, that's right, when they were interviewed, coerced them into saying that Jonathan Turner killed Troy Causey. So now we don't know what to believe. This case is still ongoing, and we will see in the future what happens. But I want to give ESPN such a credit for tackling this case. I'll say Outside the Lines, that's what they do. It's the best show on ESPN. They say 30 for 30, Outside the Lines. That's what they do. It's amazing to see these type of stories, and it's in neighborhoods. This is reality. You know what I mean? You see these type of things happen in neighborhoods. This is why we just had this talk on Twitter about how There's so many people who come online and all they do is try and harass people, try to cause some type of drama. And what do I always say? I've always said this, haven't I? If you want drama, take your ass outside. You'll find it. There is enough of it out there that you really don't need it on here. And once again, I guess in this case, the mother feels as though there's not enough press. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? It's not, like I say, it's not just outrage. There's not enough press. But ESPN covering it is a step in the right direction. It really is. I would say if you haven't seen this Outside the Lines, by all means, please try and catch it. It is a great coverage on it. It's just great. I am really happy that I had a chance to sit down and watch that. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about last portion of sports. I should say boxing. Yeah. For those who did not see Ward versus Brand, Andre Ward fought Jonathan Brand, and you know what? It was a wash. It really was. It was a one-sided fight. Jonathan Brand was not up to snuff when it came to fighting Andre Ward. As we know, Andre Ward is one of the pound for pound, but some can say arguably the best pound for pound boxer in the world. So to have a guy come out of nowhere who had, 430-something amateur fights, and he's only been pro for like 6 years, and the style that he fought in was very awkward, throwing punches from every angle, not really much footwork. Andre Ward pretty much had a field day with this guy. Now, here's the problem, because this is pretty much a tune-up fight for Andre Ward to fight Sergey Kovalev. Now, as we all know, Sergey Kovalev is not going to fight like Jonathan Brand is, all right? We know Sergey Kovalev is not going to play around. Here's my problem with Ward versus Brand. It's not that Ward isn't ready. It's like when you have, I'll play this, when you have a guy, you have him outclassed. And I've talked about this before because the commentators talked about this. How Andre Ward isn't a guy who just goes for knockouts. He's an opportunist. So if the opportunity arises, then he knocks you out. I've always said that's how you should box. You shouldn't be seeking for something, you know what I mean, and then you end up playing yourself. You put yourself in a bad position, you can get caught. So if the opportunity arises, that's when you do it. You know what I mean? However, in this case, this fight went the distance. That's right. It had no business going the distance. Andre Ward should have put this guy down a long time ago. Seriously. I would have said at most the 10th round. At most. All right? This fight should have not went the distance at all. In general. All right? Even in the 10th, look, in the 10th, should have been done early. In the 8th, it should have been done. There's a number of times this should have been done. Andre Ward looked good. He did, especially at light heavyweight. He looked good. But there's going to be some problems when he fights Kovalev. And I don't know if Andre Ward, because he's going to have to work on that foot. This is a fight that's going to happen, November? He's going to have to work on his speed a lot. Because if Kovalev hits Andre Ward, I'm talking if he smashes Andre Ward, it's going to be a problem. And Andre Ward has already said, these guys are not using 16-ounce gloves. These guys will be using 10-ounce gloves. So it's going to feel like you're getting hit with a small brick. That's what it's going to feel like. For those who don't understand ounces in gloves. 16-ounce gloves is like amateur, somewhat pro. Then you got your 14-ounce gloves, you got your 12-ounce gloves, your 10-ounce gloves, and then so on. Once you get to like 4-ounce gloves, 6-ounce gloves, you were talking UFC territory, okay? So it goes to show you, 10-ounce gloves for those who have never used 10-ounce gloves, especially from coming from 16-ounce gloves to 10-ounce gloves, they're so light. You have to think 16-ounce gloves is a pound, okay? They're a pound. Most fighters, when we train, we use 3-pound weighted gloves. So 3-pound weighted gloves when you train, then you put on 16-ounce gloves, they feel light as air. Not to mention putting on 10-ounce gloves, feel like you got nothing on. So you have to understand, when you're doing that type of resistance training, that does happen. All right? This fight is going to be a close fight, I feel. This is going to be 51-49, something like that. This may go to decision, unless Kovalev gets to a groove where he is pounding the hell out of Andre Ward. And I don't know if he's going. I don't think he's going to, because we know Andre Ward, he's savvy. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? You can't take anything away from Andre Ward. But this is going to be. This is going to be. Not only is it going to be a great fight, it's going to be a tough fight. I feel it's going to be a close fight. You know what I mean? Like I said, unless someone gets caught and just gets really wild out caught and sleeping, or someone gets into a real groove and can pick apart holes faster. We don't know, but Kovalev is no guy to play around with. He is not a slouch. He will take you on. All right. So, like I said, I understand a lot of people are looking at Kovalev's last fight and saying we didn't perform so well. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. he still got the job done. This fight with Andre Ward, with Jonathan Brand, he didn't look that great. I mean, like I said, he looked like Andre Ward. I mean, he looked like a guy who was who was supposed to destroy the underdog. That's what he looked like. So we'll see. But come November, we'll see what happens. Also, I got some bad news, some good news. I gotta get Ray and go. I know I gotta get Ray and go jiu-jitsu, and that's the bad news. So for those I've been talking to, on Twitter, I'm supposed to get ready for a tournament. Jiu-jitsu tournament at the end of August, but I have not been cleared physically to compete. So they told me that I will not be competing in August. And anybody who's ever had a setback, and you know how it feels, you've been training for months and months and months just to say, no, you can't compete now. And now they're talking, the next tournament will be in October, but they're saying depends on, if I can clear that. So we'll see. But when one door closes, another door opens. So for those who don't know, good news is that in September, there's another title tournament coming up for boxing. I have been cleared to fight in boxing. I've been cleared to play basketball. I've been cleared to do CrossFit training. I've been cleared to do more Spartan races. I've been cleared to box. I've been cleared to run half marathons or full marathons, whatever. I've been cleared for all that because that's less stress on the legs and on the body as opposed to jiu-jitsu. So I've been cleared for those things, but not jiu-jitsu. And to get that type of news really angers me. Like, it's getting to the point now where, and for anybody, like I said, anybody who's ever had training, we've talked about the parameters of training before and how frustrating it can be, and it's getting to the point now where lashing out is happening. It's getting to the point now where, for once, I've never done it before, but now I have done it now. I started throwing things. A lot of anger. Like I said, it's hard to have a setback, and when you're working so hard to get something you feel you deserve, and that's what it is. It's not I want. No, you feel you deserve it. You've worked so hard for it, and you're going to prove that you deserve it. And then to have that type of setback, it messes with you. And then, like I said, I gotta go to jiu-jitsu today. Like after this video, like I'll be uploading it later or whatever, edit and upload it later. But it's and then I have boxing later. So it's like it goes to show you that that you still have to keep your head on. Even like I don't want to go today. You know what I mean? Like after getting that news, I don't want to go. Like the part of me just like fuck this. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel right now. But I'm still gonna go. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the bad news. The good news is that I get a chance for a title shot, a tournament again, but title shot September. If like I said, I gotta go today and see details. It may be September, maybe beginning October, maybe depending on how they want to do things. So like I said, one door closes, another opens. But I'm not happy. Not happy about it. You know what I mean? Like it's whatever. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Like I said, I gotta get ready and go. So I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Next week we'll talk about some more stuff. All right, I'll talk to y'all then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.